Breaking news right now from the Department of Energy as Secretary Christopher Wright announces the termination of 24 projects, generating more than $3 billion in taxpayer savings. Joining me now is the man himself, Department of Energy Secretary Chris Wright. Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for being here.
Great to be here, Maria, in this beautiful setting.
It's a beautiful setting, and we have so much to get to. And I love the fact that your background is all energy, whether it's oil and gas or nuclear or solar. So you're really going to hit on everything. But, Ms. Secretary, you say 70% of those projects were signed between Election Day and January 20th?
Yeah, this is the thing I think that should alarm taxpayers. Nearly $100 billion of taxpayer money was committed to businesses all across this country to mostly build bridges to nowhere in 76 days after President Biden lost the election and before President Trump was inaugurated. Nearly $100 billion of taxpayer money was committed in just a rush and a mad dash to get money out the door.
That is...
Man, oh man. Welcome back, guys. Isn't that freaking something? You know, if you haven't learned anything yet, Joe Biden's family and friends are criminals. Yes, they are. They're all criminals, and it's being exposed by no other than Donald Trump and his team. Woo, it's getting nuts. Are you guys I shouldn't say enjoying the show because that's what they tell us. I mean, a lot of crazy things are happening behind the scenes. All this money was spent after Joe Biden lost, got demolished at the polls. And now we're finding out that Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, is now using the auto pen, and many others, like probably Jill Biden, maybe Hunter Biden. And I heard it was pay to play. Like, hey, you give me a pardon, I'll give you a few $1 million, something like that. Well, we're going to get into this right here and listen to what he's got to say. This is Maria Bartiromo. I thought it was pretty interesting that all this money was spent after Joe Biden became president, or Donald Trump became president. Check this out.
Extraordinary. That is extraordinary. I mean, in other words, they had money that they wanted to spend. They knew that they lost the election, so they just wanted to just get it out and allocate it to wherever they wanted, even though, I mean, these projects were not necessarily in line with what the American people wanted?
Exactly. A little over $40 billion was committed in the previous 15 years. The whole history of the loan program office lent a cylinder is a famous example of that. But a little over $40 billion over 15 years, and then $90 billion.
Jermaine struggled for years with dental issues before finally finding Nuvia. Listen to what he wanted most after his smile makeover.
In 76 days. It's just appalling.
Wow.
They're spending your money like it's just confetti.
That is just incredible. Thank you for your attention to that.
Is anybody else pissed off about that? I want my freaking money, my Doge money. I want it. I don't care about the national debt. They did it. I didn't do it. They did it. I want my money. Who else wants their money? Put it right down in the chat. It's not about paying back the national debt anymore. That national debt, they put that there for a reason. Screw them. I want my money. Can we, by the way, can we sue now? I'm just curious. Can we start suing for them robbing us?
And that is a huge breaking news story. We appreciate you talking about it. Give us your priorities at the Department of Energy and how you want to see policies change.
Look, President Trump got elected to lower energy prices, reindustrialize America, bring jobs and opportunity back to our country, and peace abroad. And he is pursuing that agenda aggressively. And energy plays a big part in that. You know, last 4 years, we saw over a 25% rise in electricity prices, but no increase in the production of electricity. Now we have the AI race in full steam that we cannot lose. We must stay ahead of China. And what does it take to win in AI? A lot more American energy. So we're going to grow American energy production of all forms across the country, keep electricity prices in check, and stay ahead and win the AI race.
So it starts
Did anybody notice that Donald Trump keeps saying that the prices, like gas prices, are down? You just seen the chart. It said something about $53, $63 a barrel. When we had $63 or $53 a barrel, not till about 3 to 5 years ago, probably about 5-6 years ago, probably, or whatever it was, man, gas was way cheaper. Well, here in Michigan, I'm pretty sure that we're getting robbed because we're paying like $3 or $3.29 or some crazy number like that. Anybody else out there see that? Because I keep saying that, and I'm a huge Trump supporter, but I think our state in general, because we're a Democrat state, and Whitmer is a piece of trash, garbage, and I think she's going to go down with the rest of the 5 governors that frickin' put old people in the nursing homes during COVID. Interesting.
With oil and gas, but you've also talked about nuclear and you've talked about other areas to do that. Why has nuclear been so underinvested, and what's the opportunity there?
Government regulatory burden and fear. It's much easier to scare someone than to reassure them. And we've had a, nationwide, I think it's fading now, but we have made it just uneconomic to develop nuclear power plants. Now, Americans have responded with innovation and new generation of nuclear power plants that if everything in the world goes wrong, they automatically shut themselves off. They're smaller in scale, so we can build them faster and cheaper. But that industry hasn't built much for 2 or 3 or 4 decades. So it's going to take a little nudge, a little push, a little incentives to get the nuclear industry back going again. But we want to see it grow. Just tremendous growth potential. And you get electricity whether the sun is shining or the wind is blowing.
Well, the president signed several executive orders in that regard, reforming nuclear reactor testing at the Department of Energy. Will this spark a whole new group of companies to start, springing forward to actually work on that?
It will indeed. It will indeed. And that last executive order you mentioned there is at the Idaho National Lab. There's a lot of spare land. There's a test containment vessel that people can bring their reactors and demonstrate their feasibility, help them get regulatory approval, and get those things built commercially.
I want to get your take on what's going on in Venezuela. I spoke with Chevron CEO Mike Wirth, and he told me about the administration's policies on importing oil from Venezuela and the threat of China moving in if Chevron moves out. Watch this.
Day 1, month 3, month 6, forever. These 4 milestones represent my journey.
A good portion of Venezuelan oil has historically come to the United States. Refineries on the Gulf Coast are designed to run that specific type of oil, and so it's very important for energy security in the U.S. The changes in the rules mean that that oil won't flow to the U.S. now, so making us less secure. China is actually the largest buyer of Venezuelan oil today, and I think the discussions that you reference, Venezuelan government officials have been in China very recently, encouraging China to buy more. And so as the largest buyer today, the policies could drive even more of that trade to China.
Isn't that China's MO? Lend a country money, they can't pay it back, and then over time dominate and run that country. And President Trump moved forward with not renewing Chevron's license to produce and import Venezuelan oil, but is allowing the company to maintain its assets there. A Chevron spokesperson told us Chevron's continued presence in Venezuela remains in compliance with all applicable laws and regulations. So where are we on this, Secretary?
That's a key distinction that the president made there. Look, there's lots of problems with Venezuela. Think of the drug gangs migrating into our country. Think of domestic problems in that country. The president and our Secretary of State are very involved in moving things forward with Venezuela. But in the meantime, we're preserving Chevron's assets. Chevron's been in Venezuela for over 100 years. This keeps an American company to protect those assets. That, of course, someday we'll have much better relations with Venezuela, and you'll see American companies playing major roles in the industry in Venezuela. But we're not there yet. Think of the last administration. They wanted to shut down oil production in Alaska and across our country and then go beg Venezuela and Iran for oil for the United States. This is the opposite. This is allowing American companies to produce oil and natural gas and all energy sources in our country, American workers, lower prices, products here, and not be dependent upon foreign countries that have been adversaries or trouble for the United States.
And I know you're going to Alaska after this trip. And I'll be eager to hear the energy capacity that you want to talk about. But I want to get to the supercomputer announcement. Yesterday, you were at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, and you announced new contracts with Dell Technologies as well as another company to develop what? Tell me about the AI project of our time, is what you called it.
So this is another fantastic supercomputer that's going to be constructed. Yeah, Dell and NVIDIA as the main suppliers for that at Lawrence.
We have supercomputers as it is. As far as I know, the United States and China have 2 quantum computers already.
Berkeley National Labs. This would not have been launched until, wouldn't even be this year under the old Biden administration rules. And one of the things I'm doing and President Trump is cleaning out the bureaucratic mess that makes everything move slow. Innovation in AI can't move slowly. So we were able to launch yesterday the construction of an awesome new supercomputer named after Jennifer Doudna. This is an awesome American Nobel Prize winning scientist who figured out how you can edit the human genome. This is awesome power, also awesome responsibility. But what we will see in the next few years in drug discovery, in diseases that have plagued us for years, how we can just snuff them out. I could not be more excited. And using AI as a tool and fantastic researchers at this supercomputer, the Doudna.
Yeah, I mean, we got a pretty bright future, guys. Talking about, oh, man, all that stuff with sniffing out all the illnesses, man. It's gonna get good. Hang in there. We are basically finding out a lot with the auto pen deal, and find out all of Joe Biden and family's corruption, and all the people that has lied to us over the years. Most of us already knew this. This is just for the normies that freaking have no clue what's going on. And if you guys are out there just waking up, you're probably in shock. But and if you're still a Joe Biden supporter or a Kamala Harris supporter, just keep watching. All right, guys. Hey, it's been a couple days, but hey, I'm back again. It is the weekend here in Michigan and where you're at, so I'm just enjoying it a little bit, getting some fishing done. I don't know what you guys are doing. Let me know. All right, we'll talk to you on the next episode. I know Elon Musk is going to the White House here in about an hour. I'll be airing that thing. I'll have a video on that. And, yeah, I guess Elon Musk is leaving the White House, but Donald Trump says he might be leaving, but he really won't be, or something similar to that. We'll let Donald Trump say that. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and we will see you here shortly. Thank you, and have a great day. Thank you.